Remember this number when you need siding or replacement windows.
Garfield, 1, 2, 3.
Today on the show, Tony Dow and Jerry Mathers from Leave It to Beaver. Also, Wally Kurth and Judy Evans. Justin and Adrian from Days of Our Lives. And the one and only Morris the Cat. I'm Kim Scott. Right now, let's welcome the host of AM Cleveland, Scott Newell.
Thank you, Kim. Good morning to you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. I want to introduce to you our first guest, who we have grown up with. They have been on the air for more than 30 years on Leave It to Beaver. They are, of course, Wally and the Beav. Let's welcome Tony Dow and Jerry Mathers.
A noisy group. How are you?
Wow, you got all your fans here. It's
terrific, huh?
You've been on for it is more than 30 years, isn't it?
31 years.
And the new version is the new Leave It to Beaver, and so a generation is growing up on that.
Right.
And then my generation grew up on the old show. Tony, I want to ask you first. There was a time where you might not have even been Wally because you had to decide between a couple of roles. How did that come about?
Well, I was really fortunate. I was a kid, a swimmer and diver, and I had a friend who was an actor, and I went to the studio with him one day, and I ended up on a show called Johnny Wildlife, which didn't sell, and then shortly thereafter, they asked me if I'd like to do the role of Boy on Tarzan. And I thought about that, but I had also gone out and read with Jerry for Leave It to Beaver, and I had a choice between those two shows. I think I made the right choice. This one definitely lasted longer than Tarzan did.
Had the two of you known each other before that whole thing came up? Jerry, had you known Tony?
We never met until we auditioned for Leave It to Beaver.
He was an old veteran. He'd been working in the business for how long?
Well, I've been...
Since he was 2.
Since I was 2 years old, so about 4 or 5 years when I did...
So he taught me everything I know.
I wish.
In fact, you had done a couple of other interesting projects before you even got into this, since you started at 2. What were some of the other things you had done?
Well, I did about 150 live television shows and about 40 movies. One of the movies was Alfred Hitchcock. That was The Trouble with Harry. I did That Certain Feeling with Bob Hope, The Seven Little Foys, Minute of the Fighting Lady with Alan Ladd. So I'd worked quite a bit before I did Leave It to Beaver.
On Leave It to Beaver, you had separate billing, almost star billing. How did that affect you? Did you feel that you were special in any way?
No, it was a joint effort. Everybody worked real hard, and that's why it's such a good show, because we all worked together.
Oh, I think it would be fun to take a look at one of the scenes from the old show, which is, I think it's still in syndication everywhere right now, but let's take a look at one of the scenes, and this is where Wally has sent away for I think it's some sort of a... I know you've been asked this 8,000 times before, but what accounts for the popularity of this show even today? People will still watch that scene and still love it. Tony, what do you think?
The writing.
I think everybody can relate to it. Everybody either was a big brother or a little sister maybe, or knew somebody like Eddie Haskell, or wished they had a family like the Cleavers. So everybody can relate to the show. I think that's what's given it staying
And the writing
power.
was really exceptional. I don't think anybody's been able to write for kids before or since any better than Joe Conley and Bob Mosier. They just had a real feel for it. They had a bunch of kids themselves, about, what, 11 kids between them. So.
Wow. What was going on in your personal lives at the time in terms of school and what the family was reacting to in the show on the air? Because, as I recall, believe it or not, this show was never in the top 10, right?
Never in the top 10.
Yeah.
I actually went to school right at the studio. We had private tutors, which was probably the best education you can get. You had a teacher there all the time. She knew exactly where you were, and it was one-on-one with a regular teacher.
Tony, what was happening with you? How did your family react to all this popularity?
Actually, we were about to move to Hawaii, and this kind of came up, and it changed our plans. And It was really exciting for me. I'd never been involved in anything like it, and it was a real interesting way to be a kid. You know, in the back lot at Universal, it was like living in a playground. It was a lot of fun. Met a lot of very interesting people, and you know, I just had a terrific time.
And still, the reaction you get to this show, even today. I tell you what, we're going to take a bit of a break right now. We will be back with more from Parmatown Mall, so stick with us here on AM Cleveland.
In order to prove that homemade brand cookies and cream ice cream contains more cookies than a leading national premium brand, I shall cut through these containers with a chain saw. Seems simple enough, eh? And there we are. Well, homemade brand certainly has larger chunks of cookies, wouldn't you say? My, what an ingenious demonstration this has turned out to be.
Homemade brand ice cream. With so much goodness, it has to be homemade.
Use Lime Away every day, and you won't have hard water stains.
From Touchstone Pictures, Roger Rabbit is a smash. Gene Shalit calls it a landmark, one of the most extraordinary movies ever made.
You'd better believe it, Buster.
It's a sight you won't want to miss, says Newsweek. You'll want to see it a second time. 2 thumbs up raves Siskel and Ebert. 4 stars exclaims USA Today.
Look, stars!
Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the most highly acclaimed movie of the year. A Steven Spielberg presentation of Robert Zemeckis film. Rated PG. Now playing at a theater near you. Check newspaper for showtimes.
Only 2 bags of Eagle potato chips for after a big game like this? We've got major league eaters. Bull Hartman puts away a bag of Eagle chips in one bite. Iron Mike give him only 1 bag, he turns surly.
Animals. Don't they know that Eagle chips are a symphony of taste and crunch? You don't wolf these, you relish them.
Tell it to them, let's go. Hey, Bull, Iron Mike, we got him.
Hey, what took you so long? Yeah!
Eagle potato chips, everyone loves them.
Back with Tony Dow and Jerry Mathers from Leave It to Beaver. I'm curious, what happened when the show ended after 234 episodes? What was that like? Was there a letdown at all? How did it feel when the show was over and that routine, which you had been going through every week for a long time, ended?
Well, actually, it was kind of good for me because it was my freshman year in high school. And so we ended in the winter, and I had summer vacation. And as I said, I was in school with nobody else. I just had a teacher and myself. And I really wanted to go to high school with other kids and play sports. So went out and joined the football team and the track team and had a real good time. So for me, it ended at the perfect time.
Tony?
I was just about to go into college, so it was a good transition period for me, too. And I loved the beach, and I was looking forward to spending a lot of time sitting and reading and playing volleyball and that kind of stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
You guys grew up together as brothers on television. Did you develop a brother-like relationship in actual life?
It's hard to say. I'm not sure what a brother relationship is. I have a brother who's older than I am, about 14 years. And I see him less than I see him, so I guess we did develop the...
We've always been best friends. I think that if you wanted to characterize a relationship, it'd be more like best friends than anything else.
Yeah.
Did you stay in contact with each other through all of those 30 years?
Very much so. In fact, and everyone else in the cast, but it's like anything else. Maybe people you went to school with. There are people that Tony are a lot better friends with that were on the show, and there are people that I'm better friends with. So when we see each other, you say, gee, what's Pat doing? What's so-and-so doing? And I get all the information, if they've had any babies, if they've gotten married, what's happening, and I pass it on to Tony. So we all kept in contact that way.
And, of course, the new show went into production a couple of years ago, and what you've done is, I guess, kind of updated everything. Where is everybody now, Tony?
Well, it's 20 years later in Mayfield, and practically everybody that that was on the old show is back, with the exception of Hugh, who passed on 6 or so years ago. And Frank Bank, who plays Lumpy, does a bunch of shows with us, and Ken Osmond's in a whole bunch of them, Eddie Haskell. And we've had other people. The teacher who originally started as Miss Canfield is back as a principal, and so we're all back having a good time 20 years later in Mayfield.
And we should look at a scene from the new show.
All right.
And of course, since you have your own kids in this show, you obviously have to deal with being parents. So let's see how Wally and the Beeve handle being parents and how they help each other out.
It's none of my business, but I'm sure there's a more diplomatic way of dealing with this.
Thanks, Mom, but I'll handle this my way.
Well, continued success. Excuse me.
Don't let Mom bother you. I'm with you. Now, you stand your ground.
What's happening here? All my friends used to say, why can't their families be more like the Cleavers?
Maybe we have been a little rough.
I don't think you've done anything wrong.
Can I say something? I think you guys forget what it's like to be their age. I mean, you keep telling them to act like adults, but then you treat them like babies.
I thought you wanted a car.
Really, Dad? I mean, they're teenagers now. They need to hear a better reason for doing something than because I said so.
How working on the new show is different from working on the old show, and obviously you're different ages and a different point in your life. What are the differences?
Well, probably the biggest one is we get to work a lot more hours. As a kid, you can only work 8 hours, and as an adult, they put you into overtime all the time, so we spend a lot more time there.
And now we have to work with the little monsters that we once were.
Yes, what group did you like better when you was younger? Which was the best one?
Which what?
In the old show. Which script did you like better in the old show?
You know, it's real hard for me anyway, because each one is so very different. We'd have different people on, and so I'll see one show and say, gee, that was the best one, and I had the best time doing it. And then I'll see another one and say, gee, like Edgar Buchanan, who used to play a lot of the parts Captain Jack on the old show. I liked him a lot, so everyone he's in I really like. Probably my favorite, generally, is when I fell in the soup bowl on the billboard. That's a real good one, I think. Yes.
What does it feel like to see yourselves when you were younger and be on the same show with the same people after all these years?
It's a little weird.
It's probably kind of like you watching home movies. Maybe if your mom took movies of you for your 2nd birthday or your 3rd birthday, and you go back years later, and it brings back real good memories. You see all the people that you knew, and you have a good time watching it.
And I want to know how you deal with people who still come up to you and treat you as the little kids you were when they were on TV. Does that happen?
Well, you know, it happened a lot more since the new show's been on, and a number of people have seen that. Of course, the transition, we actually are bona fide adults now, sort of, so.
Almost.
Almost, yeah.
I'd like to know if you regretted being an actor when you were young, maybe because you missed out on a lot of the fun time?
Actually not. I've always figured that the opportunities I got and the people I got to meet far exceeded anything I had to give up. So, you know, I think the choice would be if you had to do it over again, would you? And there wouldn't be any doubt in my mind.
Tony, how about you?
Yeah, I think it was a terrific experience. I think we did miss a lot of things. I think we experienced a lot of things that nobody else experiences. So it's a trade-off like anything else, and it's worked out pretty well.
Well, you two will stay, and in just a second, we are going to be joined by Justin and Adrienne from Days of Our Lives. So stay with us here on AM Cleveland, live from Parmatown.
Hey, don't rush out for fast food. Just drive up to your microwave for a new Chef Witch.
Just like having a great deli sandwich.
Lunch Chef Witches like chicken parmesan and beef barbecue.
And chili dog.
And for breakfast, fluffy omelet Chef Witches. Each one fast, fun, and delicious. New Chef Witches. Taste drive one today.
Now at Kmart, you can get 33 portraits for the hard-to-believe price of $14.95.
Can this be right? 33 portraits for $14.95?
Yes, ma'am. You get 2 8x10s, 3 5x7s, 15 wallets, 12 all-occasion caption portraits, plus a 10x13 wall portrait, all for $14.95.
That sure is a lot of portraits for $14.95.
Is this right?
Yes, ma'am. At Kmart, you get 33 portraits for only $14.95. 2 8x10s.
Combos, bite-sized food, real food, real fast.
Combos, peanut butter combo.
The real food you love on the go at last.
Combos, peanut butter combo.
Outside cracker, inside peanut butter. Once you taste one, you're gonna want another.
Combos, peanut butter
Combos, bite-sized food, real fast. The real food you love on the go at last. Combos, peanut butter combo.
Peanut butter combos.
Mr. Danza, we're down 24-0. You gotta play for us. Yeah, we're desperate.
Everybody's got a diet, right? It doesn't matter who you are. It's gonna be a tough fight. So give yourself the greatest taste.
Would you like a diet right? It's salt-free.
I know it's salt-free.
He knows it's salt-free. Mine's Lord. His body's shocked.
Everybody's got a diet, right?
Welcome back to AM Cleveland, coming to you live from Parmatown Mall. Right now, here's Scott.
Our next guest, he came from a very wealthy and successful family, and she came from the wrong side of the tracks. Let us welcome one of the hottest couples on daytime television, Justin and Adrienne from Days of Our Lives, Wally Kurth and Judy Evans. All right. So the separation is over. You two are back together. How long is this going to be a happy couple?
We're striving for happiness.
Is there any trouble ahead, Judy?
I hope not. Could be with Angelica being pregnant.
Yeah, what's happening?
No, we will survive. I know it.
Now, I understand that Justin was a little bit upset when Angelica came up with some news about maybe being pregnant.
But it's not mine. She was. Let's not talk about the bad things, okay? Let's talk about the positive things, the good things about our relationship. She said it wasn't mine, and I believe her. So I mean, she's never lied before, has she? Never to me.
Judy, does Adrienne know what's going on?
Adrienne never knows what's going on.
Will there be a point where Adrienne is going to figure out that maybe she should also allow herself to have a family and raise a family?
Pardon me?
Is it time for Adrienne to also consent to have a family, you think?
I think so.
Is that going to happen?
It's time to get pregnant again.
We're going to try.
At least practice.
Well,
We're going to do our best.
We have a few of your fans here. Yes, I'm sure you'll have
Every
fun
night.
doing your best. You have something for them, huh? What do you have there?
I have a little bear and a letter.
Okay, you can give that to him if you want. There's a present for you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. I can't, well,
Now, I suppose we have to let everybody do that now, huh? No. find out a bit about the two of you in real life as opposed to your characters. Do the two of you date in real life? I bet you a lot of people ask that. Judy?
Do we?
No.
No, we don't.
No, okay.
At the studio we do, though. We, you know, we're both single.
Very.
Anybody right now? Judy?
No.
How about you, Wally?
I have someone special. Why, are you interested? Boy, I could be awful busy in Cleveland.
You have a question.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Wally, do you plan to further your music career, like go out on tour or anything?
Well, not right now. I'm on days for the next year and a half, so or at least 2 years or whatever. So I'm not going to be doing any concerts or anything like that. But I go out on the weekends and stuff and play, and I have a record that I just finished a record, and then it's all ready to go, a single, and so I'm real excited about that. But I won't be doing any like concert tours or anything like that.
And we'll show the record here in just a second and tell you how you can get it too. Yes.
I have a question for Adrian. How long do you think it'll take Jack to realize or accept that he's Stephen, your brother?
I don't know if Jack will ever really accept it. I mean, he's been a Deborah all his life and never knew he was a Johnson, but hopefully they'll be able to throw all that aside and be friends and brothers.
Hi. How long are you going to stay with Days of Our Lives, Stephen?
Pardon me?
How long are you going to stay with Days of Our Lives? Yeah.
Stay? Mm-hmm. I think I have another 2.5 years left.
Mr. Kurth, I was wondering, have you written any of the songs that you've used to sing to Adrian on the show? And if not, who's written the songs?
I wrote one song when I asked her to marry me in the park. I wrote that song. But usually the producers find the songs and they just sort of say, this is the song we'd like you to sing. And I would like to contribute more, but often we're real rushed. And especially now with the writer's strike, there's really not much planning. We get the scripts and we go, okay, there's a song. And if I don't have a song available or whatever, we'll just grab someone's song.
What is it like working with the other cast members on Days of Our Lives? And what is going to happen between the two of you once Adrian finds out that Angelica's pregnant?
Working with the cast is great. It's one of the warmest places to be. I mean, I like that family better than my own.
A lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, yeah. People say good morning in the morning and mean it, you know. And
they're all very professional and everyone's really nice and they just do their job and it's like a play almost because everyone has their characters and it's a real group effort. You know the prop man, you know the people who are hauling the cables, you know the cameramen, you know the directors, of course. So it really is a big family.
Well, this big family here is going to take a break for about 2 minutes, and we'll be back with more of all these folks here as they have taken continuous life at Parmatown North.
With spaghetti sauce, running isn't funny. So thicken up your store-bought sauce with zesty Kraft Parmesan cheese. Add 2/3 cup to a jar and serve. The secret to thicker sauce is in the can.
Some drinks are only 10% fruit juice, so it's like getting this much fruit in every glass. But Juicy Juice from Libby's is 100% fruit juice, so it's like getting this much fruit in every glass.
Juicy Juice is a juicier juice.
Hurry to the gigantic indoor-outdoor tent sale at Value City. A $500,000 buyout from a famous California maker. Young men's related separates, not $18 to $25. Your choice, $4.99. Big and tall swimwear, not $15 to $22. $6.99. Our entire stock of designer dress shirts, not $35. $7.99. And tropical weight dress slacks, not $40 to $60. Only $10. You want big selection? You want big savings? And hurry to the gigantic indoor-outdoor tent sale at all Value City department stores.
We're not winning the war on drugs.
Custom officials admit that for every drug shipment seized, 9 more make it into this country. Tonight at 11, a Channel 3 News special report shows why drug lords are in control How do you combat wealthy strongmen who force people to choose between silver or lead, a bribe or a bullet?
The majority of people's wildest dream is only a drop in the bucket for us.
Watch tonight at 11 only on Channel 3 News.
And now, back to more of AM Cleveland, coming to you live from Parmatown Mall.
I know that you want to hear Wally Kurth sing. He's got an album out called Wally Kurth, and he's going to do a song from the album called In Paradise. Again, Wally Kurth.
In your eyes, I see all that we can be. In your eyes, you taught me what it means to love, but can you teach me right from wrong? We'll study by the moon above, and I'll hold you in my arms until the dawn. There's only you and I, together we belong. In paradise, lovers never die. In paradise, it's just you and I. In paradise, we can learn to fly. I see paradise in your eyes. In my dreams, you're everything I see. In my dreams, in life I learned to read and write, but they never taught me how to touch a star. But every time I hold you tight, I realize that heaven's not that far. And when I dream of you at night, and travel to a place where lovers are. In paradise, lovers never die. In paradise, it's just you and I. In paradise, we can learn to fly. I see paradise in your eyes. Don't be afraid to go with me. Just hold my hand. We will be alone. We'll be free. We'll be in paradise. Lovers never die. In paradise, it's just you and I. In paradise, we can learn to fly. I see paradise in your eyes. I see it in your eyes.
Wally Kurth.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, I want to show the album here. That's what it looks like. And for people wondering where they can get it, we will put the information on our Scott line, which is 344-3391, and we'll give you an address where you can send to get this, because you can't buy it right now in the record stores, right? Okay.
No.
All right. Does Adrienne love it when he sings to her? Yeah. Wally, do you sing to your real-life romance like that, or?
Yeah, I do. Well, Well, as a matter of fact, I have a daughter, and I sing to her all the time. I sing to her, so it's really nice.
That's very nice. Judy, tell us about your work with underprivileged kids, because I know you're involved in that.
Well, I'm involved in opening the School of Fine Arts for Underprivileged Children in Calhoun, Georgia. And if that works out, we'll start opening them up all around the country, hopefully. So people can get a chance in all areas of the arts.
Is Uncle Vic going to get in the way of anything with you and Adrian? Is he going to break you guys up somehow, or
who?
Uncle Vic.
Uncle Vic.
Victor.
Uncle Vic. He won't break us up. Nothing is going to break us up. What can I say?
Except maybe those writers, they might do it. Yes.
I have a picture for Judy in the letter. Can I give it to her?
Oh, yes. Judy hasn't gotten one yet, so go ahead.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you, Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, Jerry, I have a question for you. You started so young, and I admired your ability to say things like you had your underwear on backwards. And did anyone help you with your lines, or was it just you coming naturally? Were the directors lenient and the writers, or did you have to have every word perfect?
Well, you had to have every word perfect, and that's because of the time constraints. You're doing a show that's 23 minutes, and it's all timed out. But the writers were so good that they wrote in a way that it was easy for children to say, so it wasn't very hard, to be honest with you.
Hi, we really love Days of Our Lives, and are you guys going to be in Kayla and Steve's wedding coming up?
Wally's thinking at the wedding.
It'll be, we just taped the remote. I guess we shouldn't tell them everything, but we just taped the remote a couple of days ago, so you should be seeing it like in a few weeks. It was really beautiful, really nice.
I have to ask this for our fans out there, because they were a little bit upset that perhaps Kayla would not be able to say her wedding vows. Is there going to be a surprise at the wedding?
Well, don't you want it to be a surprise?
There will be a surprise.
Yeah.
Will be a surprise, yes.
She marries Jack. No, just kidding.
Wally and Judy, are you two alike in any way? Like your characters? Are you like your characters in any way?
Well, I think, or at least for me, part of me is Adrian. Very small part, but no. Yeah. I mean, any role you play, it's got to be some sort of part of yourself. So, I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, you bring as much of yourself to the character. I wouldn't say the character's so much more like me as I'm bringing a lot of myself to the character, and you know, it's bound to happen, especially in a continuing drama like Days. You just start being the person, and he starts being you, you know. I wish I had as much money as Justin.
Yes.
I'd like to ask Judy why she left Guiding Light.
Why I left Guiding Light? They didn't pay me enough. No. I wanted to do other things, and I wanted to move back to LA. I love New York, but I missed my family and owning pets.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned pets, because we have one of the most famous pets in the entire world going to be with us here in just a second. Morris, the 9 Lives cat, will be out here in just a moment, and everybody here will return as AM Cleveland continues live from Parmatown.
Enjoy extra sugar-free gum.
You get extra refreshing flavor that keeps coming through. Extra sugar-free gum lasts an extra, extra long time for you.
Sugar-free Extra is unsurpassed in fighting cavities. That's right, unsurpassed in fighting cavities. And Extra has NutraSweet.
Extra refreshing flavor that keeps coming through. Extra sugar-free gum lasts an extra, extra, extra long time for you.
Extra helps fight cavities and lasts extra long. Who?
Tim Conway and Tom Poston.
Where?
Odd Couple.
What? What? Not what? Where?
Oh, Front Row Theater.
Front Row Theater in the town of?
Cleveland.
That's right, folks. See the two funniest men in
Show business.
at the
Odd Couple.
in
Cleveland.
at
Front
Row
Row
Theater. Thank you and good
night.
Order Odd Couple tickets at 216-524-0000.
Colleges want and are open to students from all backgrounds. So go ahead, visit, talk, write, listen. There are colleges right for every student, including yours. Junior high parents, a free program on early college planning is available to your community organization. Call Paving the Way at 1-800-327-9541. That's 1-800-327-9541.
Welcome back to Parmatown Mall, where AM Cleveland is broadcasting live. Now here's Scott.
And our next guest is going to give George Bush and Michael Dukakis a run for his money this fall because he is running for President of the United States. And while his being finicky might not turn off many voters, you can certainly qualify him as an independent. Let us welcome Morris the Nine Lives Cat. And Bob Martwick and Steve Cruz are up there. Bob is Morris's handler, and Steve is the campaign manager. And Steve, what is the platform?
Well, the platform, Scott, he's taken positions on every issue. Let's start out with White House scandals. This is one candidate, one president who can smell a rat, and he personally promises to give a good licking to anyone getting caught with his paws dirty. Many other issues on defense, Morris has said walk softly, but carry a big can opener. On animal rights, he said fur coats should be worn only by those who can grow them.
I agree with that.
Controlled substances, Morris personally has taken a vow and says, say no to catnip.
Those
All
are
the
some of
major issues he's
the main
addressed.
platforms, yes. Bob, you live with Morris, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
In his big
That's
house.
the right way to say it.
That's the right way to say it. What's his life like off camera?
Well, when he's not working, traveling, which is about 3 to 4 months of the year, he lives the ordinary life of anybody's household cat. Sleeps where he wants to, eats like the rest of us.
And how does he travel? Does he have his own seat on the airplane?
No, he takes me first class, but he does have to be in a container. He goes on board with me.
So he rides in with the passengers,
Yes.
too. Is he an outdoor cat or an indoor cat?
He has outdoor exercise area, but he's basically an indoor cat, an urban cat.
Is it fair to ask what Morris eats?
Naturally, he eats 9 lives.
Of
and
course.
lots of it.
This is kind of a milestone here, coming back to Cleveland, because Morris's very first appearance was in Cleveland. Would you explain?
That's correct. About 17 years ago, a writer for Cleveland Plain Dealer asked us to attend a mall dog and cat show for the benefit of the Humane Society. And Morris that was his first personal appearance in Cleveland.
And I noticed that some people have Morris the Cat T-shirts, which you just saw one of right there. Morris, this is not the original Morris,
This
though.
is the second Morris. The
What
first
happened
one,
to the first one?
He lived to be 19. He died 10 years ago this week. And this cat has been working since 1980. He came out of a Humane Society in New England.
What did you look for when you were looking for the next Morris? What do you look for in the cat in terms of personality? And obviously
Well,
looks has to look the same.
We certainly look for a look-alike Morris, and we also look for personality. We looked at over 4,000 cats, and we got it down to testing 4. We actually did tape commercials and photo sessions, and this one was the best worker and the closest looking.
During a commercial, how do you get Morris to do what you want Morris
It's
to
all
do?
food and motivation with cats.
Can you
Some people claim to train them, and you can teach them a lot of things, but a lot of cats will retrieve and do things like that. But food motivation is what he works to.
Well, I noticed that you have some food and motivation in your pocket, right?
Yes.
How would you get, can you show us how you might get Morris to
Well,
do
under the
something?
circumstances, after the screaming, we'll see if he still reacts. Huh? Still there.
Yep. He's calmed down enough.
Yeah.
Yes, Morris is a good cat. What sort of campaigns, stops have you gone on, Steve?
We've gone all over the country. We've spoken at the, by the way, I should tell everybody, we're willing to reveal, this is a campaign of candor, we're willing to reveal the true reason why I speak on his behalf, and the fact is, I know it'll come as a surprise, but Morris does not talk. He thinks a lot, and I argue that in a campaign, in a political candidate, that's not a bad trade-off. But we've been to Philadelphia for the bicentennial of the Constitution. We've been to Florida for the Florida State Fair. We've been to Dallas, to Houston, to San Francisco, from one end of the country to the other.
How old is Morris?
Morris, we're guessing he's about 10 years of age. He was between 1 and 2 years when he came from the Humane Society.
And he's been on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, which I think that's quite an accomplishment for a cat.
He's the first animal ever to be featured on Lifestyles, in fact.
If Morris is elected, will there be a First Lady cat?
Well, we already have a vice president. Actually, we might say that we've said that Morris is a bachelor, but unlike another former candidate whose name ironically rhymes with smart, you won't catch our boy catting around, which is refreshing. The fact is, one of our campaign slogans is neuter is neater. One of the great problems in catdom is the overpopulation of cats. More cats are killed by euthanasia than by disease, 15 million every year. And so one of the great causes that we have, and it is a sincere cause that we work with the American Humane Association for, and 9 Lives sponsors the program, is to sponsor adoptions through shelters and to sponsor neutering and spaying. And Morris, God bless him, has followed his own suggestion.
He's been fixed, as it were.
That's correct.
And also, if I may say one word, too, on behalf of the animals at this point, when the weather is so hot, make sure they have plenty of water, and make sure you don't leave any of the pets in the car, because it gets brutally hot, and they can die of heat stroke or anything like that. So please don't. Morris, you are a cute cat. And Morris, I understand that if you don't win, you'll probably support Michael Dukakis because his wife's name is Kitty. That's right. I thank you, Steve, Bob. Morris, you're a big star. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Scott.
More from Parmatown in just a moment.
I'm a light eater. As soon as it's light out, I start eating. That's why I come to Big Boy Soup, Salad, and Fruit Bar. You got tons of fresh choices. Go back as often as you like. Fortunately, I'm free till Thursday.
Big Boy Soup, Salad, and Fruit Bar is just $3.79. Or try one of our super salads. Chicken, tuna, ham, and cheese, and more for only $3.49.
Now that I'm on a health kick, maybe I'll take up jogging. I'll start with another lap around the salad bar.
America loves its Big Boy.
For salads.
Its energy, relentless. Its swiftness, unchallenged. Its time, forgotten. But now, the legend of terror returns. The new Raging Wolf Bobs at Geauga Lake.
If others cared as much as LensCrafters, they'd all deliver quality glasses in about an hour. But many can't because they don't have in-store labs. And many don't because fast to them is anything from a few hours to a few weeks.
LensCrafters took exactly an hour.
LensCrafters' 1-hour delivery is very important to me.
1 hour, one choice. LensCrafters.
LensCrafters, custom crafted eyeglasses in about an hour. Southland Shopping Center, Westgate, and Richmond Malls, Belton Village, Canton, and Summit Mall, Akron.
When you cook with Lipton, you dish up surprises every day. Lipton Recipe Soup Mix gives a new twist to all your family's old favorites. From dips to dinners, Lipton's special seasonings make the difference. With Lipton Recipe Soup Mix, you can turn any dish into a new idea. So what's cooking? Surprise!
This is Kim Scott, welcoming you back to AM Cleveland. Right now, here's Scott Newell.
We're back at Parmatown with Jerry Mathers, Tony Dow, Judy Evans, and Wally Kurth. Yes, ma'am.
When you grew up, together, did you grow up liking each other always?
Sure, he's a pretty good old guy.
Yeah, every once in a while. I like Tony real well. As I say, we're best friends.
Yeah, you can tell him something.
I'm an ice skater, and I skate to Leave It to Beaver.
You skate to Leave It to Beaver? To the music?
Yeah.
Ah, well, that's good. I bet you've probably never had that before.
You know, I have to say something about being up here with the Beav and Wally. Since my name is Wally, all of my life, and I mean from the moment I remember things, when I would say, gee, your name's Wally. Wally, where's the Beav? And you know, about 2 or 3 years ago, I mean, this still happens, I finally said, you know, the next person who says that, they're not going to be my friend. And so when people come in and say, Wally, where's the Beav? I say, okay, I do not like you, and you are not going to be my friend. You know, I mean, so I feel like I know these guys, even though I just met them today. But.
Beaver, how old is your movie?
How old am I really? I just turned 40, June 2nd, so about a month ago, a little over a month ago, I turned 40.
Wally and Judy, I want to say that you're both great on the show. And Wally, may I please have a hug?
Can I go Come on over, yeah, I
think so. You ready? Okay, here we go. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
This is for Wally. What would you do if you weren't an actor or a singer?
I would probably be a laborer of some sort. I'm convinced that this is a blue-collar job. And I've always sort of did, like, you know, when I'm from Montana, and I grew up on summers on the ranch, and I used to, you know, milk the cow and paint the barn and build houses and stuff. So I'd probably be in construction or something like that, using my hands, sweating.
We have a treat for you here. I want you to see. Why don't you folks stand up there, these two. Now, you made these shirts?
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Screen printing.
And how many of these did you make up?
Well, I made some for my cousin and some of my other friends.
You must be a big fan.
I was wondering if you guys could sign these after the show.
We'll see if we can do that. Okay.
Dad, I'd like to ask a question to this Wally right here. What encouraged you to start singing?
Well, when I was a kid, I just always sang. So, I mean, I just would sing around the house and all the time. And just when I was in 6th grade, I was cast as the Artful Dodger in Oliver. And from then on, I kind of got the bug, and I decided this is what I wanted to do. So that, from 10 years old, you know, I was all, and it just was always singing. You know, I mean, that's just sort of, I think it's sort of in your soul. And I just, my parents remember my parents were just down from Montana a while ago, and they were saying how they always remember me singing. So that's kind of where, I didn't really get encouragement. I always did it, sort of.
I have a question for Tony and Jerry. You are here for a very special reason. You're working with television, theater arts, acting studio with some kids right over here. And we want to show these kids over here. Would you explain while I go over here what you're doing with them?
Well, this is a group of youngsters who are studying television, film, acting, that type of stuff. And they've done a Leave It to Beaver episode, a 30-minute episode that's on tape. And we're going to get to see it for the first time, and they're going to get to see it for the first time after the show. And also, as I understand it, they're going to open another session, and they're going to be taping kids for interviews. So if any of the kids here or any kids anywhere are interested in getting involved in this program, they can come on down here and show up on camera and see if they've got what it takes to do a show, I guess.
Sure, all these kids would love to be in the business. You have a question, though, too, huh?
How did you ever get started in this?
Who's it for, all of us?
You want to know how they got started because you want to do the same thing, right?
Right.
What would your TV show be called?
I don't know yet.
Hasn't got a name yet. So, again, if you could just mention one more time how the best way to get into the business.
Be lucky, I think. I don't know. I think it takes a lot of hard work, and I mean, these guys, I assume you studied a long time and you had it in your hearts that you wanted to do it, and I fell into it by accident. I'm the wrong person to ask. And he started when he was 2, so he's the wrong person to ask.
That's right. I think if you're, you know, from a small town, well, this isn't a small town, but, you know, if you're from the Midwest, or she's from L.A., I was from the Midwest, you just start doing schools, high school plays, and you get into plays, and you go to college, and I went to UCLA, and I was in theater arts programs. So you can go that way, or you can start when you're young and get right into TV. But I was still doing plays even when I was probably their age. You guys were even younger. But you know, you just do it. You just do it. Whatever play you can get into, anything you can do.
And with a little luck, you make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell you what, we'll take a break. We'll be back with more from Parmatown.
For Sam Breakstone's cottage cheese, the cream couldn't be too rich.
By Havemeyer, this is rich. By Sam Breakstone, this isn't rich. Del Havemeyer is richer, but not rich enough.
Because Sam was so demanding then, his all-natural cottage cheese is so smooth, rich, and creamy now.
And tell Havemeyer, you make a nice, rich cream. And try my all-natural sour cream. It's thick, it's rich, it's delicious. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Just a reminder that every week in TV Guide, you'll find something brand new. Pick up your copy of TV Guide today. It's the best thing on television, and it's on sale now.
A child of the Depression, he saw his father without work and his family forced from their home. He got his first job at the age of 11 delivering groceries, worked his way through school, and starting with nothing, he went on to build a successful business. But he never forgot where he came from. And later, when he went to the U.S. Senate, he took with him one cause above all others, the fight for working men and women. When few others seemed to care, he was the first to demand that corporations closing a plant give their employees 60 days' notice. He's fought to keep Ohio's jobs and won the battle at places like Wheeling Pit and LTV. He stopped more special interest giveaways than any other senator. The Washington Post wrote that his one-man crusade saved taxpayers and consumers $18 billion. From saving Social Security for millions of senior citizens to helping out in one child's lonely fight to find a drug to cure a rare disease, he's been there, on our side. Howard Metzenbaum.
And look who's joined our crowd now. Let's welcome Del Donahue.
Morning, Scott. Morning, everybody. What a crowd. What guests. Great morning, huh? In the news, Cleveland police this morning closed in on area car thieves in what they described as the biggest auto theft sting operation in the nation. At 5 o'clock this morning, they began arresting 114 suspected car thieves, most of them in southeast Cleveland, Shaker, and Bedford Heights. Investigators say the cars the thieves have stolen are worth about $4.25 million. In Brownsville, Texas, rescue workers have recovered 2 more bodies from the department store that collapsed yesterday. That raises the death toll to 11. And throughout greater Cleveland, a lawn sprinkling ban is in effect. The mandatory ban was declared yesterday for the estimated 1 million customers of the Cleveland Water Department in the city and in 70 suburbs. Spokesmen say the ban won't be lifted until we get back to 80-degree temperatures. And, of course, what have you heard about the weather other than that it is hot and getting hotter? More of the same to come. 82 degrees in Cleveland now. And North Olmsted, where we are this morning. The day will be mostly sunny, probably 100 degrees hot during the afternoon. What did I say? North Olmsted, Parma Heights. Of course, I know where I am. Of course. Parma. Of course I know where I am. I'm in Parma and I get ahead. Good. All right. 100 degrees this afternoon. Tonight we'll try to sleep in temperatures around 70, and tomorrow sunny and again near record 100-degree temperatures. And just about the same story on Sunday. The good news, a cold front may arrive on Monday and it'll cool off on Tuesday, and the Indians will cool off the Angels tonight. And now this is Del Donahue in Parma.
Del, I understand you're getting ready to go on vacation, so that's totally understandable. Now it's time to give away our weekly prize, and this week's prize is a nice compact disc player. Somebody who's been in our audience this week is going to win that. And there it is right there. You can play all your new CDs, and everything sounds better on a compact disc.
Okay.
So Kim and Wally and Judy and Tony and Jerry and Del are all going to take part in this. Pick one card and give us a name.
Go ahead, pick. She's going to pick it right now.
Dig deep.
Lori.
Don't look at me.
Do you want me to help you out?
Yes, please.
Okay, Lori Bettner of Akron, Ohio.
Congratulations to Lori.
Should be here today. Should be here
Is
today.
Lori here? She's
Lori,
somewhere here. Well, we'll find her.
B-O-D-C-T-N-E-R of Akron.
And we'll give her...
Congratulations.
Congratulations. We'll give her her CD player. That's kind of nice. We'll have another nice prize next week. Also, a reminder that anybody who would like to come out and sign up for the Parmatown's Walker Club can come out here today, too, and sign up, and also tomorrow, some of their official sign-ups. I want to thank everybody, Jerry Mathers and Tony Dow, Judy Evans, Wally Kurth. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thanks to all the people out at Parmatown Mall. They have made us feel very, very welcome out here. Thanks to our staff who worked very, very hard to put all this show together. And I want to tell you what we've got for you on Monday. On Monday's AM Cleveland, from The Cosby Show, live and in person, Theo Huxtable is going to be here, Malcolm Jamal Warner. So make sure you watch on Monday. Plus, Linda Hirsch is going to have soap news, and we'll have another in our Household Hints contest. And you have something real fast you want to give them. Wait till you see this. Thanks very much for joining us, and a final present for them. Look at that. Thanks. We'll see you on Monday.